On Monday, the 20th of January, 1986, police were called to a house in the Lake District where they found the body of a 67-year-old woman. She appeared to have been the victim of a frenzied attack. Cumbria police quickly identified a suspect, but they had no hard evidence against him and no idea where he was. They also had new rules restraining their inquiries. This was to become the first murder in the country to be investigated under the new Police and Criminal Evidence Act. Eventually, they turned to Crimewatch. In the film that follows, the police officers who were involved, along with many of the witnesses, reconstruct the investigation of the murder. Some roles are played by actors, and we've not used the full names of two key witnesses in order to protect their privacy. Crimewatch File shows how real detective work is not the stuff of Sherlock Holmes-type intuition, but of persistence and of a close relationship between the public and the police.
Fine rock's difficult. It's like my sky. I need plenty of practice in there. They're all in the midst of it today, but if I come another day, then I can get that. That rock's marvellous, though. And look at that light going over to the side there. It's good.
Yes. I find it a problem making that looking realistic, too, that sort of light.
Well, we can always come back when there is a bit more light on it. Well, the things in the distance, you let them fade and fade and fade until they get back up into the sky.
You should have taken it up professionally, you know. You're very good.
I'd have like that. Yeah. Start all over again.
Yeah.
There we go. And keep the work going.
I will. Bye. And you.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm afraid this ticket's only valid as far as Kendal.
What do you mean only as far as Kendal?
This is a Red Rose Rambler ticket,
Yeah.
and it's not valid beyond Kendal.
I'll pay for a ticket to Ambleside.
No, it's only valid for travel as far as Kendal.
Look, if I wanted a bloody ticket to Kendal, I would have taken one, wouldn't I? Since this access going to cost me.
Kendal to Ambleside. £1.45, please. Thank you.
I'll join you.
So you're having problems.
It was a man that once you'd seen, you never forgot. The eyes especially, they just pierced into you, you know. Every move you made, it was as if he was watching.
Takeaway pizza. I'll have a zaffarelli.
£2.50, please.
This is Bronwyn Nixon. That night, some 3 hours later, a quarter of a mile away on the outskirts of Ambleside, she was murdered in her cottage in the grounds of the hotel she owned. Her home was ransacked, her car was driven off. 8 hours later, 60 miles away, in Preston.
Went out the main A6 road To cross it, I had to wait for a slower moving car. He was driving down in the outside lane. We both approached the traffic lights and pulled up in the same lane, and I felt like somebody was watching me. Looked at the car next to me, and he was turning round, literally staring at me. Very piercing eyes. I was really uncomfortable feeling about it, and at that point the traffic lights changed, and I pulled away.
Mike Davey and Cheryl Heselton from Forensic.
Okay.
Mrs. Nixon's car's missing.
What have you done about that?
Well, I've circulated it to all forces this time. It's a blue Honda, a V-Reg Honda. It's gone out in the last hour.
Last hour?
Nothing back from it yet.
Yeah. Now, you have plenty of men coming.
Yeah, 9 o'clock the briefing.
Right, I'll do that briefing.
Right, sir.
Mike Davey and Cheryl Heselton from Forensic.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Jim.
Nice to see you again.
That's Cheryl Heselton.
Hello, Cheryl. How are you? All right?
Right. Let's have a look at the body.
Body first, one. Let's go upstairs.
What's happening?
Go upstairs and see where it is. Okay. Right, a lot of work here for you. When it was found, it was actually lying face down.
Right.
The son turned the body over just to see if there was any sign of life, actually. Start at the feet. You'll see it's bound with electric cable.
Yes.
Hands bound with electric cable. And the neck. It's a bit of a mess. She'd been there some time as well, actually. So it's...
Not too fast on the right.
Well, I'll fill you in on what we've got so far, anyway. You've obviously seen most of it already.
Oh.
We found 2 areas of blood staining on door frames downstairs. We've got blood inside that downstairs toilet bowl. And on the lid of that toilet, which you probably didn't see, there's a glove mark. The Soccos have brought that up and tape lifted it.
It's not a fingerprint?
No, it looks like a leather glove or something like that. We've taped all the edges. We've also taped the walls going up the stairs because there's flock wallpaper on. You know, wallpaper wouldn't normally retain any fibres, but if whoever has brushed against that as he's gone up the stairs, then we stand a chance there with fibres. But otherwise, until we get back to the lab, I think there's not a lot we're going to be able to tell him.
Now, what we are inquiring into is a clear case of murder. Now, the whole scene's been videoed, and you'll be given the opportunity to see that much later. We're inquiring into the death of Bronwyn Nixon, a woman aged 67 years, whose body was found by her son Stephen at 10:15 p.m. last night. She was last seen alive at 5:45 p.m. yesterday by a friend. A post-mortem has been carried out during the night by Dr. Garrett, the Home Office pathologist, and although, as I've already indicated, Mrs. Nixon was subjected to extreme violence and had been stabbed incidentally, the cause of death is actually strangulation. I'd like you now to go and see the allocator. The actions are already there. I'd like you to get them, get out, carry on with your inquiries, and let's have this person locked up as quickly as we can. When you live in a rural area, one of the things you have to do is to gather the men up during the night so that you get them there at a decent time in the morning. We're always faced with time and distance in rural areas, so we would gather up the task force to do the house-to-house inquiries, things like bus stations, railway stations, licensed premises, checking hotel staff, people who stayed at the hotel. There's always plenty of work in the first 2 days in any inquiry.
We're making some inquiries about an incident that happened at Ambleside just recently.
We're particularly interested in a Honda motor vehicle.
What about suspicious people? Was there anybody that caught your eye who acted suspiciously about that time?
On Monday.
You say you left Mrs. Nixon's about 5:30, 5:45. That's Sunday night.
About that.
Did anybody see you leaving?
Well, she did.
Apart from Mrs. Nixon, was there anyone else there?
No, not aware of, no.
When you say you got home, who can confirm what time you got home?
Well, there was nobody in, actually, when I arrived, but I mean, you know, somebody must have seen me driving up.
Did you stop anywhere on the way back?
Yeah, yes, I stopped at a filling station to get some chocolate. I didn't fill up.
And where was that at?
Oh, God, I don't know. I mean, it's on the Kendal bypass.
Yeah. You went to work the following morning? Yeah. What time did you finish work?
I don't know, about 6, perhaps 6:30.
What did you do after you work?
Are you trying to suggest something? Are you saying I had something to do with it? I've been at Kendal Police Station the other day for the best part of a day asking you questions. Now you come down here and you go through all the things. What's the matter? Are you trying to say that I murdered her or something?
As far as we're concerned, Mr. Cleverly, you're the last person to see her alive. We have to clear your movements in that house.
John Cleverly was a suspect simply because in the vast majority of murders, the last person to see the victim alive is very often responsible. So Cleverly was arrested. He was brought to Kendal. He was interviewed. We had him in custody for something like 15 hours. And we had to be satisfied that he was either implicated, and if he wasn't, then he's eliminated. And if that's how long it takes to do it, well, so be it.
Next day at Preston bus station.
2004 to Preston.
2004.
Do me a vehicle check, please.
Go ahead.
Tango Echo Charlie, 909 V Victor. Should be a blue Honda Accord. Tango Echo Charlie. Go on.
Yes, confirmed that. The blue Honda Accord. Site is wanted on behalf of Cumbria Constabulary.
Roger, thanks for that. It's on the second floor of the bus station car park at the moment. We'll keep it on the...
A search for evidence began in Preston. Meanwhile, back at Mrs. Nixon's hotel, they were interviewing staff. The hotel was closed for renovations and most staff had gone home. But some 20 miles away, a waiter, having heard about the murder, contacted the police. He had a chilling feeling that he might know who the killer was, a man who'd stayed with him in the staff quarters of the hotel.
I first met Wynne about 4 months before the murder, and when I met him, he had nowhere to stay, and I was working at Ambleside at the Rothay Manor, and we got on quite well as friends, and he came back and stayed in my room because I was working there as a waiter. I was living in not a very large room. It was okay for one, but for two, for a length of time, and the way that he went on, how he was to me, it got to be really bad, and I felt just like a hostage in my room, you know. And then I just decided, so one morning I woke up and I thought, right, you know, this is the day, this is the morning.
What are you doing down here?
Just reading.
Hello, Andrew. You still here?
Well, come on back to the room. I want to talk to you.
I do not want... I'm not going back to the room.
I don't bloody want to talk to you. That's not too much to ask, is it?
I've already had one black eye. I don't want another one.
I've already apologised for that. Look, you coming back or what?
No, I'm not. Anyway, I'm waiting.
What are you waiting for?
I rung my father. He's going to pick me up and take me home.
You could tell your bloody father you're not coming.
I'm going home.
No, come on, Andrew. Let's go.
I'm going home, Wynne.
See, Mrs. Nixon's in the hotel. They tell you to jump, and you jump. There's a few things I could tell them about you. You wouldn't like that, would you?
I've made my mind up. I'm going home, and that's that.
I've got your clothes. Taken your money. Your keys are in the river.
I was relieved because I thought, well, if that's the last of him, that's it. But I wasn't sure that it was going to be that easy, deep down. A week and a half later, I think it was, he rung up. That was late one night, and he said that he wanted to meet me. So I decided to meet him because he said he wanted to give me these items of clothing back.
Hello.
Where have you been?
I'm sorry I'm late.
I've been waiting over half an hour.
Yeah, well, the car was late. I had to catch a train.
Did you bring my stuff?
Yeah, I've got it here.
Wyn, you're wearing half the stuff I'm supposed to be taking back.
I'm sorry. Come on, let's go for a drink.
I don't want a drink. Just give me what you've got. My dad's waiting in the car.
Your father's waiting in the car? Well, tell him to go home.
No. Just give me my stuff. I'm leaving. You got anywhere to stay tonight?
No.
If you walk back up Windermere Road, there's a place on the left, about 100 yards. It's called Holly Cottage. There's probably have a room there.
Thanks.
As soon as I heard that Mrs. Nixon had been murdered, my gut feeling was that he'd done it deep down. Yeah, obviously, I didn't want to believe that. I didn't want to believe that she'd been murdered, obviously, because, I mean, she's my boss and we got on really well, and I was going back to the hotel, you know, and they'd offered me a better position at the hotel. But deep down, because of the way that he was with me, how he treated me, and just that he was violent, and things that he'd said about Mrs. Nixon, I felt deep down that was, that he'd done it.
Let's take a seat over there, please.
I mean, for the first few days I didn't go to the police because I had no evidence to go on.
So how long have you worked at the Rothay Manor Hotel?
For about 6 months.
And what's your job there?
I'm just an assistant in a restaurant.
For a time they tried to question me, to eliminate me. And it was a bit difficult. I mean, that people would even think that of you, you know.
When Andrew came forward, his statement was extremely important because at that stage all we had was a body, an enormous amount of inquiries to do, but he produced the name of this man, Roberts.
Andrew told detectives that after Wyn had left the Rothay Manor 10 days before the murder, he'd gone to Blackpool. Teams of detectives were immediately dispatched there. Every guest house in Blackpool had to be checked. Where was Wyn? And even if he'd moved out of town, had he left behind incriminating evidence?
I think we've got something here. Our man's got a conviction for murder.
You got a photo?
No, I haven't got one.
Right. Yeah, boss? Yeah, it's Alan Ruddick.
Hello, Alan. You're still at Blackpool?
We've got a fella here, Wyn Roberts, with a previous for murder.
Have you?
Yeah, do you want his details?
David Wyn Roberts was just 14 when he murdered in 1969. He was one of 2 sons of a highly respected family who still live in the village of Valley outside Holyhead on Anglesey. When Mrs. Sarah Hughes, who lived at a bungalow in 4 Mile Bridge on the island, was found murdered, local police were baffled. The youth eventually turned out to be Roberts. The police officer in charge was John Hughes, former head of North Wales CID, who was since retired.
He stabbed an old lady of over 80 years of age several times with a bread knife. There was a quality of stubbornness about him which I found very unusual for a boy of his age. And this was highlighted in the assize court when he was dealt with at Carnarvon, when Mr. Philip Wyn QC cross-examined him solid for 3 to 4 hours, and yet he never got an inch of admission out of him.
The murder had been committed in similar circumstances as this one, so he actually went to the top of our list.
Police established that he sometimes went to the Flamingo, a gay club in Blackpool Centre. If he showed up now, detectives would be waiting.
We had the two of the biggest policemen we had in there. They stood out like sore thumbs.
Well, we're down in Blackpool now, trying to find a lad who you may or may not know. We think he comes in here. He's called David Wynne Roberts.
The most distinctive feature about him, he's got a big Mexican-style moustache, very, very bushy. Similar to yours, but much more bushier. Would that help you at all?
Not really, because you get quite a few people in with quite bushy tashes, sort of through the week, and especially weekends.
Over 500 members helped with the inquiry, and one of them was Chris. He'd been with David Wynne Roberts at the Flamingo the night before the murder.
The Flamingo, it's notorious for a haunt for homosexuals, isn't it? Is Wynne Roberts homosexual?
Has he done something wrong?
Are you a homosexual?
Like...
Look, we're all men in the world. There's nothing to be frightened about, is there?
You continue looking at this, Peter. Don't worry about this. I'm only jotting a few notes down, so, you know, don't worry about saying anything.
Are you yourself a homosexual?
Well, has there been an accident or something?
I mean, it's difficult to admit to two strange fellas that you're homosexual. I accept that. We aren't going to be embarrassed. I'm quite sure you aren't. Are you a homosexual?
Yeah.
As I say, there's nothing to worry about. So you met Wynne in the club that night? Was that before or after your friends had left?
After they went about midnight.
When you left the Flamingo Club, where did you go to?
To the Lord's Hotel.
The Lord's?
Yeah, it's in Yates Street.
In Blackpool?
Yeah.
Is this where he was staying?
Yeah.
How did you get there?
In my car.
So you both went in your car?
Yeah.
So you spent the night with him at the Lord's?
Yeah.
How would you describe that night? What was his attitude?
It was like he was insecure. He just wanted to hold me, and he was quite passive. He sort of gives. He looks butch, but he's not really.
Yeah. So what time did you get up the next day?
I woke up about 9 o'clock, and I wanted to go then. He seemed weird, like I don't know, like he was on drugs or something.
You come down out of the room, and you're walking back towards your car. Where did you last see Wynne Roberts at?
He come downstairs with me, and as I was going up to the car, I said, give us a ring, and he just said, yeah, okay, and then he went into the lounge and sat with a group of people.
Have you seen him since then?
No. He telephoned me.
Yeah?
It was the same day. I mean, I'd just got home and I'd fell asleep for a bit.
Yeah.
And it was quite early because I hadn't had my tea. It was about half past 4.
So, you do want to come out for a drink tonight? Yeah, okay. But you'll phone me? Yeah, when? Yeah. Okay, bye.
That was 5 p.m., roughly 6 hours before the murder. David Wynne Roberts then set off for Ambleside. But why? A Home Office forensic psychiatrist has a theory. Kevin McGuigan.
I suspect what had happened was that the man has developed with a personality that's extremely fragile, and it construes events in his life as having more significance for him than it would for you or I. And a failed one-night stand and that he'd hoped would develop into a relationship was extremely unsettling. He'd gone to achieve a reconciliation with an ex-relationship. That hadn't happened, and I think he blamed it all on the old lady who ran the hotel. Given the fact that he'd already killed an old lady once before, and that perhaps he achieved poor relationships with females and most other people, it seems, she was a natural target, and I think he displaced all of his anger, all of his frustrations into this old lady and repeated his crime of many years before.
No, drop everything else. I want you to go to Lord's in Yates Street and see these joint owners, Stephen Tominski and his partner, John Woolley. interview them at length, comprehensively and in detail, because we're pretty certain that Roberts has been staying there, possibly his last port of call before he disappeared.
Plastic bags are collected from the bins. Yeah. Now we put them in here into these plastic bags, and then they get shoved outside here into the yard. Yeah.
When do they go outside?
Usually Monday night, Tuesday morning.
Yeah. So the bins are collected on Tuesday, are
On
they?
a Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah. Did you put the rubbish out?
I can't really remember. I mean, sometimes I do it, sometimes Stephen does it.
So it could be that some of the rubbish from that room is in these bags here. It's possible.
It's possible, yeah, but I couldn't swear to it.
No. If you can leave these bags here where they are, and comes back, we'll call back to see him, and we'll finalise the situation then. Depending on what he says, will depend on whether we take him away with us.
Unloading titles for 38 seconds. 38 seconds.
Stand by with the lighting change. We're coming to 3 next, then it'll be you on 2 first soon. Just a reminder to keep QT30 sound there. You may rock your next to Q2 QT30, because we use your sound under the white top in the studio.
Counting out of titles. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Coming to 3.
2, 1,
And
0.
mix and lighting change.
I was sitting at home with my family watching television when Crimewatch was come on. I normally watch it if I can. As I was sat watching it, this picture flashed up, the usual, "Have you seen this man?" And as I sat watching it, I thought, oh no. I thought, I've seen him somewhere. But you know, when you see a face and you can't quite picture where you've seen him. So I sat thinking about it, and it suddenly clicked where and when I'd seen him.
And finally, before we go, remember the picture we showed you earlier?
Slide foul.
Police want to talk to about
Ready to zoom back.
Nixon, the Lake District hotelier.
And
Anyone
zoom
knows
back.
the whereabouts of this man, David Wynne Roberts. Please phone police in Penrith. That's on 0768 66 000. 0768 66 000.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Yes. My name's David Wynne Roberts. Yes. My photograph appeared on Crimewatch this evening in connection with the murder of Mrs. Nixon at Ambleside. I've come here with my solicitor. As I understand, you have a few questions to ask me.
You must have been going to church.
You what?
Well, he's looking down on you, mate. You won't believe this, but he's walked in.
You're joking, man.
Roberts has walked into Chiswick Nick. He's with his solicitor.
Didn't expect that at all.
Don't want you to say anything to him other than caution, reason for arrest, in the car and back up to Kendall Nick.
Well, have we to bring the solicitor back with us?
No, he can't travel with him. You can give him the time of trains and he can travel up on his own.
Now, I want to listen very carefully to what I've got to say to you. Very recently, the Police and Criminal Evidence Act has come into law in England and Wales. And part of that law is a clock. And that clock is that when a person has been detained for offence, the minute he starts to be interviewed, the clock starts. And for that reason, as it's an offence committed up in Cumbria, no officer from this station will ask you any questions whatsoever, so the clock doesn't start.
Jack, you've had one call in particular, I gather. Just for update, what can we say?
We've had a very good call, actually. I've just been informed that our friend Roberts has just walked into Chiswick Police Station to come to advise us.
You sure it's him?
Definitely. I've already got two men who are actually in London on the way to Chiswick. Roberts will be arrested. He'll be taken back to Cumbria through the night and we'll interview him tomorrow morning.
OK, fine. Has anything else happened, incidentally, that...
We got an earlier call from someone in Cumbria who was actually travelling on a bus from Blackpool to Ambleside, but I don't understand anything more about that at the moment. Now, we've got him in. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind, and there's no doubt in your minds also, that this is our man, right? Now then, what I want to talk about now is the strategy of how we approached this first interview. It seems fairly obvious to me that a man that walks into a police station with a solicitor, he's going to be prepared to stick it out. So I don't think under any circumstances that he's going to admit this. So the way to approach it is to try and find out exactly where he's been since he left Rothay Manor. Let's make a liar out of him. Let's break down his alibi, and let's see where we go from there.
Fair enough.
Now, approach it nice and gently. At this stage, don't drop this previous murder on him. You want to keep that for later on, right?
I'll take all the lines you've said. We'll challenge him on his movements, and if he's going well, you'll know that by the time we're in there, won't you?
Well, just get the feel for the thing when you go in, that's all.
Right.
I'd like to know where he was when he saw that Crimewatch programme. I'd like to know who he was with. We need to get into those premises because we still do not know what's stolen from that house.
Who were you with and where were you staying when you saw your photograph on Crimewatch UK?
I was at a friend's house in London.
Who was that friend?
That I decline to answer.
Will you tell me who that friend was?
That I decline to answer.
Why?
Because my friend has a room in this house. And any problems arising from visits by police, etc., will cause him to be thrown out.
I would like to know who that man was.
That I decline to answer.
So what did you think when you saw your photograph on television?
I didn't hear all that was said.
What did you think when you saw your photograph on television and heard what was said?
At first, I thought that Andrew had informed the police that I'd been staying with him. And that they want to ask me questions about why I was there.
Did you ring Andrew to find out?
No.
Why not?
I didn't think of ringing Andrew.
Why not?
Our relationship had ended when last we met.
Did you ever travel by the bus?
No.
Why are you telling lies, Mr. Roberts?
I'm not telling lies.
On Sunday the 19th of January this year, you were in Ambleside.
I was not in Ambleside on Sunday the 19th.
I put it to you that you were, and that you murdered Mrs. Bronwyn Nixon.
Your information is incorrect.
At 6:40 on that Sunday night, you got on a bus at Lancaster. Is that right?
It is not.
At 8:15 that night, you got off the bus in Ambleside. Is that right?
It is not.
Later that night, you were seen outside Mrs. Nixon's house.
That is not correct.
I put it to you that it is, and that you murdered Mrs. Bronwyn Nixon.
Your information is not correct.
Are you prepared to stand on an identification parade?
No, because my photograph has been shown on television.
So if we find people that haven't seen your photograph on television or in the press, are you prepared to stand on an identification parade?
No, for the reasons I've already given. Had my photograph not appeared on television and subsequently in the newspapers, I would gladly have done so.
I'd like you to give samples of a cutting from your hair, pubic hair, and other intimate samples. Are you prepared to give them?
I would like to answer that at the end of the questioning.
Roberts agreed on the Saturday night that he was in Blackpool and that he did meet Chris in the Flamingo Club and that they went to the Lord's Guest House and stayed together. But he denied that he'd ever been to Ambleside on the Sunday night and insisted that on that night he was in the Flamingo Club again. And he stayed there till it closed. Then he went back to the Lord's Guest House where he spent the night. They then agreed that he did go to London the following morning by train.
You've got a bit of a short temper, Mr. Roberts, haven't you?
On average, I would say no.
I put it to you that you have, and that you murdered Mrs. Bronwyn Nixon.
That is not correct.
You're quite well aware of the questions we've asked you and the answers that you've given so far.
I know what you mean.
When we arrest someone, we can only keep them for a period of 24 hours. Unless we charge them. We can get a further 12 hours. That can be authorised by the superintendent at the police station for good reason. Now, if we wish to go beyond that, we have to go to the magistrates, and this is what we did.
The public was excluded,
because police needed to refer to David Wynne Roberts' previous murder to justify detaining him, and that knowledge could prejudice a future jury. But under the new Police and Criminal Evidence Act, the suspect has a right to be there when police outline to magistrates why they want to keep him in detention.
One of the problems with that is that the defendant is there and sits throughout it. And he knows exactly what stage the inquiry has reached and where you're going from then. The point being that he may have to be re-interviewed, so he knows exactly what the situation is. That's one of the unfair things about it, I think, certainly from a police point of view. As you've already heard, when he was 14 and a half years old, Roberts was convicted of a murder in similar circumstances we are now faced with, and it is my opinion that his release would frustrate further inquiries.
Mr. Brodie, do you wish to question the witness? Mr. Taylor, is it not the case that my client went willingly to the police?
He did.
And is it not a fact that within 1 hour of his photograph appearing on Crimewatch UK, he went voluntarily into Chiswick police station?
That's correct, he did.
And has he not given the police every cooperation and answered all their questions?
Your client cooperated to a certain extent, but he certainly didn't answer all the questions.
But he has certainly provided the police with complete details of all his whereabouts on the key dates.
That's not true either. He certainly hasn't told us where he was on the night that he walked into Chiswick police station.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor, but my client does deny all involvement with the case in question.
He did deny, but that doesn't mean I believe him.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. That will be all.
Thank you.
Your worships, there is no cause for any further continual forced detention. We oppose the application.
Mr. Roberts, we agree this application. You will remain in custody for a further 24 hours.
Go with the officers, Mr. Roberts. The court will rise.
Well, in all inquiries, you have to have a piece of good fortune. And we were rather fortunate here in that the Blackpool Corporation had failed to collect the rubbish on the day that they ought to have done.
How you doing? There's one of us down there putting this lot in the CID stuff. Hello, Lauren.
Ah, got something here, Mac. Manor, what was the name of that place?
You must be joking.
No, it's here, this is it. It's a card of some description. More and more of this card. This is interesting. Ah, look at that. Oh, a black card there. I think we better...
I think we've got to start logging this.
Absolutely. Hello, we've got a bit of newspaper here. Royal Festival Hall. It's got a couple of red crosses on it. And a number in black biro. I would like to know if you could tell us what that handwritten number on there refers to, please.
Yes, that would indicate that there was a booking made by credit card over the phone for an event in that advert.
Would your records tell us if a Mrs. Bronwyn Nixon has made a telephone booking by credit card over the last few weeks?
Yes, of course. It'll take me some time just to check our computer records. So I'll be with
okay.
you in just a moment. Okay.
Thanks very much.
Sounds like we might be in business here.
Yeah, aye.
Yes, I've now got a printout which indicates that, yes, in that name, there was a booking made for 2 tickets on the 9th of January.
Mm-hmm. At what time?
At 6 o'clock exactly, 6 o'clock in the evening.
6 p.m.?
6 p.m.
That proved that Roberts had been back to the hotel, that he got Mrs. Nixon's purse, and that the only way he could have got that was to enter the house and eventually murder her.
But there was more than circumstantial evidence. Among the rubbish, sheddings from red cashmere fibre the size of 2 tiny pills. Forensic scientist Mike Davey.
When we looked at the red fibres, in conjunction with the tapings we'd taken from the scene and the ones taken from the car, we found that there were red fibres that were similar on these tapings. which suggested that whoever had been at the scene had also been in the car and subsequently at the boarding house. But having seen these red pills, it was fairly obvious that anything that did come in from a suspect that was red in colour would be of some interest to us.
Why did you go to London? To meet a friend.
Who was that?
Renato Fennick. I don't know his full address.
Where did you stay in London?
When I arrived?
Yeah, well, all the time that you were in London.
I stayed at the York House Hotel in Earl's Court.
Anywhere else?
I went to the flat of the Maltese guy for some nights.
This Renato?
With Renato, yes.
Yeah.
Gee, it's a bit cramped in here. There's not a lot of room, is there?
No.
How many of you share this room, then?
Just two of us.
The biggest mistake that Roberts made, in my opinion, was telling us about Renato Fennick.
I haven't said that you once.
Renato Fennick was due to go to Malta the day after we interviewed him in London. He had a very important piece of evidence.
The red scarf that you asked for?
The red scarf, and the gloves, and the purse. And these three items, plus the ones he left behind at Blackpool, linked Roberts to that murder scene and the murder of Bronwyn Nixon.
Just make sure there's nothing inside.
Yeah, make sure you haven't left any money in it. It's the most important thing. It's empty, is it?
There you go.
Great. There's nothing else while you've been rummaging through there that you can think has given you, or anything that we might need to have a look at?
No, that's all he gave to me.
Meanwhile, that Sunday morning up in Kendal, it was back to the magistrates. Another 24 hours had elapsed. The courts were closed on Sundays, so they convened in an outbuilding. This was likely to be Jack Taylor's last chance to hold his man in custody. Detectives told the magistrates that David Wynne Roberts would be confronted by witnesses who might identify him. Then they'd charge him or release him. They were granted a further 36 hours.
Mr. Roberts, as you have refused to take part in an identification parade or a group identification parade, I intend to make arrangements for the witnesses to confront you independently. Do you understand?
Yes.
Is this the person?
No.
Is this the person?
Go. Bye. Yes.
Is this the person?
Yes. No, Olga.
This way, please. Is this the person?
Yes.
We were aware that we were looking for red items. And so as soon as this scarf appeared on the scene, we were looking at that to see whether that was a potential source of the red fibres. Looking down the microscope, you can see control fibres taken from the scarf. On the left is one of the fibres that we recovered from a tape lift taken from Mrs. Nixon's body. And again, you can see that they match in colour and in microscopic appearance.
If Renata Fenwick had taken that scarf back to Malta, we may never have found it, and if we hadn't have found it, it's extremely unlikely that we'd ever prove this case.
I asked you questions yesterday, which I intend to ask again today. Are you prepared to answer those questions?
No.
Are you prepared to answer any questions at all?
No, I will not answer any of your questions.
Stand here. I'll listen to what this officer has to say to you. David Wynne Roberts. You do not have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but what you say may be given in evidence. You are charged that on or about the 19th of January 1986 at Ambleside in the county of Cumbria did murder Bronwyn Nixon, contrary to common law. Did you understand what the officer said?
Yes.
My opinion of David Wynne Roberts is that he's an extremely dangerous man. He's been shown to be on several occasions. He's murdered 2 women. He's now serving life imprisonment. In my opinion, he ought never to be let out.